We're going to be on page 274 today. So
Okay. So
we're going to do what we did the other day, except this time there's no chart for it, okay? So this time we're going to be doing it, which we did the other day with the numbers that we multiplied across. So look at page 274 with me. It says, suppose you don't have an equivalent fraction table, how would you find equivalent fractions? To find equivalent fractions, multiply the numerator and denominator by the same number. Well, we already did this. So they give you 3/4 equals something over 8. This is what we did the other day to find the equivalent fraction. We say in our head, 4 times what equals 8. I know that 4 times 2 equals 8. So I go to the top and I say 3 times 2. That equals 6. So 6/8 and 3/4 are equivalent, okay? Remember the very important rule with this, you do the same thing on the top that you do on the bottom. So if we did 4 times 2 on top, we need to do if we did times 2 on the bottom, times 2 on the top. Okay, so if I give you one, like 1/3 equals x over 9. They're going to give you ones with letters missing. So this is what we're going to be doing for today. I have to say in my head, 3 times what equals 9? That's 3. So at the top, I do 1 times 3, and I get 3. So 1/3 is equal to 3/9. And when you learn how to reduce later on, reducing is just going backwards and making it smaller instead of bigger. We did not do one like this. Let me show you this one. If they give you 3/5 equals 12 over x. This one's backwards. So we can start at the top and then work our way down. I know that 3 times 4 equals 12. So I would do 5 times 4 and I would get 20. Another thing I want you guys to know is that you can't have a big number on the top. Your big number has to go on the bottom. So I'm going to write a note right here. Bigger number has to be on the bottom. If you have a bigger number on top, then you need to go back and see where you went wrong because your bigger number should be on the bottom. Okay? So we did some the other day where we actually had to divide instead of multiply. So I'm going to give you some of those too to practice because we need to make sure that we see all kinds of different problems before you get to the others. So let me give you some to practice and then we're going to do them together. I want you to try 3/5 equals x over 20 and tell me what x is. So figure out 5 times what equals 20 and then do the same thing on top. And I'm going to try to take attendance again while you guys are doing this. Just because I see some people came in. Okay, so if you looked at this one, you should have said 5 times 4 equals 20. So 3 times 4 equals 12. So 12 is my missing number. Key thing, do the same thing on the top and the bottom. Try this one. Let me give you one a little different. I'm gonna give you one with 2/6 equals 8 over x. So think 2 times what equals 8 and do the same thing on the bottom. There's one I want to show you too in a second that I want you guys to pay close attention to because it's very different from what we've done so far. Okay, now on this one, it goes a little bit backwards than the other one we just did. So 2 times 4 equals 8. So 6 times 4 would equal 24. So 2/6 is equal to 8/24. Pay attention to the one I'm about to show you, because this one's really different. D could be X. The letters don't matter. D11 over 11 equals 4/22. Now this one's different. We have a letter in a different spot. So look what I'm about to do. I know that 11 times 2 equals 22. So I think what times 2 would equal 4? You could go backwards and divide it, because look, 22 divided by 2 is 11. 4 divided by 2 is 2. I can check it. 2 times 2 equals 4. 11 times 2 equals 22. So for this one, you can go backwards and divide, or you can say what times 2 equals 4. And you know that 2 times 2 equals 4. I don't know if you'll have any. No, you won't have any like that today on classwork, okay? But I do want you to be able to recognize that one. Okay, let's do. If you look at 1 through 12, I don't really like the way those are set up in your book, so we're not going to do them that way. But let's do 3/7 equals X over 20, no, sorry, X over 14. Try that one. This is the kind you're going to get, and this is the kind we've been practicing. 7 times what is 14, and then do that to 3. Okay. You have a question?
Yes. So our last one, was it division?
It's going backwards, yeah.
Okay. I got this one.
Okay, hold on. We're about to go over it. If you guys can do these, that's what I want you to be able to do. So I know 7 times 2 is 14. So I'm going to do 3 times 2 and get 6. 6/14. Okay? You're going to do 13 through 18 today, and they're pretty much just like this one. Let me give you 2 more to try, and then I'll see if you guys have any questions or if we can move on. Try 1/6. Oops, I can't write today. 1/6 equals X over 30. And I want you to do 5/8 equals X over 40. In your head, you should kind of be seeing these multiplication facts, because we've been doing multiplication facts for a long time. I'm going to give you a couple more seconds to solve these, and then I'm going to go over the answer. The ones you're going to have today, like I said, they're pretty straightforward. There's no division on these. They're just multiplication. Then next week, we'll start with factors. All right, so let's look. I'm going to do it in blue, so it's a little bit of a different color, not to get you confused. 6 times what equals 30? That's 6 times 5 equals 30. So 1 times 5 equals 5. So we can say 1/6 is equal to 5/30. 8 times 5 is 40. So I do 5 times 5, and I get 25/40. Now keep in mind, check it every time and make sure your big number's on the bottom. You want to make sure your big number is on the bottom. If it's not, you need to redo it because you got something wrong, okay? All right. If you have any questions, put up the hand raise emoji. If you actually raise your hand, I can't see it because I can only really see a couple of you at a time. So if you have a question, just do the hand raise. One of you has it up, but I don't see anybody in front of the camera or a name, so I don't know who to call on. Okay, so everybody seems to be okay on this one. Let's talk about what we're going to do for the rest of the year. I talked about it with fifth grade earlier, and I want to kind of map out what we're going to do for the rest of the year and talk to you guys about some important things. Faith, you have a question?
Oh, sorry, hit the wrong button.
Okay. Leonidas?
How was your day?
It's good. Let's talk about that at the end, okay? I'll come back to it.
And say hello to Max. Dang it.
Hi, Maximus.
Hello.
All right. So let me talk about what we're going to do with each thing. I teach you guys social studies now, too. So there's 3 subjects we need to talk about. So I put a long message on Dojo last night talking about everything we need to be doing at the end of the year. If you haven't seen it yet, make sure to log on and look at it. Let's talk about math. You will have a math test next Friday. That's a week from today. It'll be on everything we've done up to that point. So far, it'll be on writing a fraction and then being able to make an equivalent fraction. Our last Zoom will be May 13th. That's next Wednesday. Okay, so our last Zoom will be on Wednesday of next week. We won't have a Zoom a week from today, next Friday. We have our test that day, and we need to talk about what we're going to do in science. So for science, we are not going to rush to get everything done and try to have you study for a test and all that. What we're going to do is we're going to have a vocab test on Tuesday. That's going to be on the words you did yesterday. Okay, the vocab test is going to be on the words you did yesterday. Then we're going to have an open book test on Friday, May 15th. Okay, so what we're going to do is in the science chapter we're in, I'm going to give you an open book science test. I'm just going to give you the easy parts of the multiple choice and the vocabulary. You can use your book, you can use your notes, you can use your homework, you can use whatever. So this is just going to be almost like a worksheet. So that's what we're going to do for science. Vocab test Tuesday. The vocab test is not open book. I want you to know those words. Science open book test on Friday to end it. I'm going to talk about social studies, then I'll get your questions. All right, social studies. Today is the last state details day. You guys have your assigned state. You've been looking up things every day for it. Today is the last day you're looking things up, and it was to look up 5 interesting facts. Last night, I made a video of South Carolina just because no one got South Carolina. And I looked up all the same stuff you guys looked up, and I made a video on Flipgrid. I'm not going to post it until Monday. So what I'm going to do is make you a detailed kind of a guide to use Flipgrid, and then I'm going to put it up on Monday and let you guys log on, see my video. Leonidas and Ellis, pay attention. You're going to watch the video I posted, and then I'm going to let you post your video. So you guys have all of next week to do your video. Your video is due by Friday. That is the only thing you're going to be doing all week. So if you finish your video Monday, then you're good for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. You don't have anything to do. So that's what you're going to do. You have the whole week to get it done. That being said, since you have the whole week, I want it to be a good video, and I want you to rush through it. I had to do mine a couple times last night because I kept messing up. I went through and I wrote down all my facts in an organized paragraph in like a speech form, and then I read it and I practiced it and I did it on the Flipgrid. You can add words to your Flipgrid, which I did. I put my state name on it. You can add little sticky notes, pictures. It's a bunch of cool stuff. So I suggest maybe using Monday to go through it and look. You have a password to get on there, and I will individually give it to you on Shobi. I'll send you a message and tell you what your password is to get on, okay? And you have a little code to click to get on. So that's what we're going to be doing for this. This is everything we're going to be doing for the end of the year. Math test next Friday. Our last Zoom is Wednesday. Science vocab test Tuesday. Open book test Friday. Your video is due by next Friday. That being said, your missing work is also due by next Friday. Some of you have missing work you need to do for term 5 and term 6. There is a lot of missing work out there for some of you, and you've got to get it done. It's going to affect your report card, and it's not going to look good for your report cards you're going to get the last day of school. So I'm going to go back through this weekend and do another list of missing work to send out to your parents. You need to make sure that you're checking it. If you do missing work and I don't check it, let me know. A lot of missing work comes in, and I try to go by like one at a time and check it, but sometimes I miss it. So let me know if I miss it. It'll sometimes show up on my phone, but not the iPad. So if I don't see it, just let me know so I can get it checked. All right. I'm going to take some questions on this. If you don't have questions, get your science book out. Faith.
So for my state, since never mind, I forgot.
Okay, let me know if you remember. Liam, do you have a question?
What is the state thing? Because I haven't been on the Zoom meeting and I don't know what it is.
It's on Shobi. Go to Shobi after this and look at state projects. Your state is Hawaii, so you have 5 days worth of information to look up for Hawaii. Okay? So go on Shobi when we're done and look it up. Faith?
Okay, so my question is, since our last Zoom for you is Wednesday, will we have our Zoom for Miss Miller on Thursday, or is that our last Zoom for forever?
That's
Or will
for me. Okay, still go to your other teacher's Zoom if they have it on Thursday, okay? Okay, so let's look at page D34. That's where I am. I'm going to write it on the screen for you. I'm on D34. The other day you did your vocabulary for this. It was water cycle, evaporation, all the way down to mid-ocean ridge. Today you're doing fill in the blank notes for this. So let's look at it real quick. Let me get, I see Annabeth, your hand up.
I was just wondering, never mind, since you just said that I was wondering what page it was.
Okay, D34. I'm not going to read it to you. You guys know how to read, but let's talk about a couple things you're going to do on the notes. This is a lot of review. We did this last year too. So the water cycle is the constant recycling of water. Water that is falling down, water that is being evaporated, water that condenses into clouds and falls back down again. There's no more water on Earth now or any less water than there was millions of years ago. The amount of water doesn't change on Earth. So let's look at what it starts with. Look at these little pictures right here in the boxes on page D34. Let's start with the top one. The sun warms the ocean, causing water particles to move faster and faster. After a while, they have enough energy to leave the water and enter the air as water vapor. This is evaporation, the process by which a liquid changes to a gas. So the sun heats up the water and the water changes into a gas which travels up into the air. A cloud forms when water vapor condenses high in the atmosphere. Condensation happens when the water vapor rises, cools, and changes from a gas to a liquid water. These drops of water in clouds are so small that they stay up in the air. So the water that traveled from the ground or from the ocean or wherever, as it evaporated, changes into condensation, which is in clouds. Then it goes to precipitation. In the clouds, some water drops bump into others and stick together. The drops get bigger. When they get too large to stay up in the air, they fall to earth as rain, snow, sleet, or hail. Some of this precipitation collects in lakes, rivers, and other bodies of water. Some precipitation soaks into the ground to become groundwater. Some falls directly back into the ocean. Then if you follow it back to the last arrow, water vapor from an ocean can be carried a long way through the atmosphere, so it starts all over again. Okay? Turn the page. What's in ocean water? Ocean water is a mixture of water and dissolved solids. Most of them are salt. You need to know that sodium chloride is another name for salt. Then I skip over to the other side. Near places where rivers empty into the ocean water is less salty than it is farther from the shore. This is because the fresh water mixes with salt water. Ocean water is a little saltier near the equator, where it's hot and water evaporates faster. And ocean water is less salty near the North and South poles, where it's colder and the water evaporates more slowly. So that's all you're going to do for today, is just do the notes for this. I'm going to go through right now and unlock your math on this page so you can see. Try to rotate it. There we go. All right, so that's 5th grade. Let me get to 4th grade math. So you're doing page 275, 13 through 18 today. Can't figure out what I'm trying to do here. There we go. Okay, so it's unlocked for you. You guys can head on to do your math and science if you have not. Social studies, make sure you get that done. Look for your video Monday and look for the missing work this weekend. If you guys don't have any questions, you can go. If you do, you can stay and I'll answer any questions you guys have about math, science, or social studies.
Bye, Miss Clark.
Bye, Miss Clark.
Bye.
Justin.